You know, it's funny how we often think of activism as this serious, somber affair, right? Like, you picture someone standing on a soapbox, passionately shouting about injustice, while everyone else looks on with furrowed brows and grave expressions. But let's be real for a minute. Activism doesn't always have to be this heavy doom and gloom experience. In fact, there's a whole lot of humor in activism if you know where to look. And today, I want to dive into that. Because laughter can be one of the most powerful tools we have in the fight for change. First off, let's acknowledge the absurdity of some situations we find ourselves in as activists. I mean, have you ever been at a protest where you're holding a sign and suddenly realize that the person next to you has a sign that's way more creative than yours? There's a fine line between being passionate and being, well, a little ridiculous. Like, I once saw a protest sign that read, "I can't believe I still have to protest this shit." And honestly, I laughed so hard I almost dropped my own sign. It's like, yes, that's exactly how we all feel. And then there's the irony of certain activist situations. Picture this. You're at a climate change rally, right? And there's a guy in a giant polar bear suit handing out flyers about saving the Arctic. I mean, I get it, he's trying to raise awareness, but at the same time it's like, buddy, are you aware of how hot it is in this bear suit? Sometimes, the very act of trying to save the planet can lead to these hilarious contradictions. It's a reminder that we're all human, and we're all just trying to navigate this crazy world together. But humor isn't just about the silly signs and costumes. It's also about the way we communicate our messages. I remember watching a video of a comedian who decided to tackle the issue of climate change in his stand-up routine. He started off by saying, "You know, I'm not saying we should all go back to living in caves, but have you seen the price of avocado toast lately?" The crowd erupted in laughter, and suddenly he had everyone's attention. He used humor to highlight the absurdity of our current situation, how we're all so focused on our daily lives that we forget the bigger picture. It's a brilliant way to engage people who might otherwise tune out. And let's not forget about the power of memes. Oh, memes. They're like the modern-day equivalent of political cartoons. You can convey a complex issue in a single image with a witty caption, and suddenly it's shareable. I mean, how many times have you seen a meme that perfectly encapsulates your feelings about a certain political situation? It's like a collective sigh of relief, knowing that someone out there gets it. Humor in activism can break down barriers, making difficult conversations more accessible and relatable. It's a way to say, hey, we're all in this together, and sometimes we just have to laugh to keep from crying. Now, let's talk about the role of satire in activism. There's something incredibly powerful about using satire to critique those in power. Think about shows like Saturday Night Live or The Daily Show. They take serious issues and turn them into something we can laugh about, while also shining a light on the absurdity of the situation. When a comedian impersonates a politician, it's not just for laughs, it's a form of resistance. It says, "We see you, and we're not afraid to call you out." It's a way to hold those in power accountable, while also making us laugh at the ridiculousness of it all. And humor can be a great equalizer. It brings people together in ways that serious discussions sometimes can't. I once attended a community meeting about local environmental issues, and it was all very formal at first. People were presenting data and the mood was pretty tense. But then someone cracked a joke about how the only thing growing faster than the pollution levels was the number of cat videos on the internet. Suddenly, everyone was laughing, and the atmosphere shifted. It became a space where people felt comfortable sharing their thoughts and ideas. Humor can break down walls and create a sense of community among activists. Of course, there's a fine line to walk when it comes to humor in activism. It's important to be mindful of the issues we're addressing and the people we're trying to reach. Not every situation calls for a joke, and sometimes humor can fall flat or even offend. But when used thoughtfully, it can be a powerful tool for connection and engagement. It's about finding that balance between seriousness and lightheartedness. Because let's face it, if we can't find joy in the work we're doing, then what's the point? And speaking of joy, let's talk about the moments of pure joy that can arise from activism. I remember attending a pride parade a few years back, and the atmosphere was electric. People were dancing, laughing, and celebrating love in all its forms. There were colourful floats, fabulous costumes, and yes, even a few cheeky banners that made me chuckle. It was a reminder that activism isn't just about fighting against something. It's also about celebrating who we are and what we stand for. Humour can be a way to express that joy, to highlight the beauty in our diversity and the strength in our unity. And then there are the unexpected moments that catch you off guard. Like when you're at a rally and someone starts singing a parody of a popular song, changing the lyrics to reflect the cause. Suddenly, you find yourself singing along, and you're not just chanting slogans, you're having fun. It's a reminder that activism doesn't have to be all work and no play. We can find joy in the fight, and sometimes a little humor can be just the thing we need to keep going. Now, let's talk about the importance of self-care in activism. It can be so easy to get bogged down by the heaviness of the issues we're facing, and that's where humor can come in as a form of self-care. I've found that when I'm feeling overwhelmed, watching a funny video or sharing a laugh with friends can be a great way to recharge. It's like a little reminder that while the work is important, so is taking care of ourselves. Laughter can be a balm for the soul, helping us to stay resilient in the face of adversity. So what can we take away from all of this? Well, for starters, let's not underestimate the power of humor in activism. It's a tool that can engage, inspire, and unite us in our fight for change. Whether it's through memes, satire, or simply sharing a laugh at a protest, humor can create a sense of community and connection that is vital to our work. It's a reminder that while the issues we face are serious, we don't have to take ourselves too seriously. In a world that often feels heavy with injustice and strife, let's embrace the absurdity, the irony, and the joy that can come from activism. Let's find ways to laugh in the face of adversity and to celebrate our victories, no matter how small. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and sometimes a good laugh is just what we need to keep pushing forward. So let's keep fighting, keep laughing, and keep making the world a better place, one joke at a time.